Hey guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here. Welcome to another FIFA 18 World Cup mode video, and today trying once again something else a little bit unorthodox is definitely another way to put it. Now I'm going to take you back a couple of months ago. Do you remember there was some talk a while ago, pretty much toward the end of qualification, of maybe there being a tournament hosted by the Americans that would be a almost World Cup reject competition where all nations that didn't qualify for the World Cup would get together and play a tournament of their own. For lack of a better word, a reject World Cup. Now, the prospect of that actually intrigued me. It didn't end up happening. Obviously, the Americans were throwing it out there considering that, you know, they threw away their World Cup qualification with that 2-1 loss to Trinidad and Tobago. To be fair, they did have to beat two teams at once. That's kind of unfair. But still, a reject World Cup, a competition, almost you could consider sort of a curtain raiser to the actual World Cup, even though there's not too big a gap between the end of competitive club competition football and the World Cup. It'd still be an interesting idea. So that is what I'm doing for today's video. Of course, the World Cup mode is now out now. I'm sure you're all enjoying it. And what I've done is this. I have put as many countries as I could have into the World Cup that didn't actually qualify. So you can see countries like Austria, you've got Scotland, you've got Chile, you've got Ireland, China. Of course, what else have we got here? We got Wales that didn't qualify, the Netherlands, Greece, and all these countries. Italy, for example. I've thrown as many of those nations into the World Cup, and I'm going to do a simulation basically and see who ends up on top. Now, if you don't mind me, I'm just going to spam X. We'll come up with a group eventually. Waiting, and boom, there we go. Now, obviously, because there aren't 32 countries available for you to swap out and put into the World Cup, I've only gone through and replaced certain nations, basically the top countries that you would expect to do quite well at the World Cup. And some of the smaller fry that did qualify to the World Cup this year are going to have to remain. So all the big countries that you'd probably expect to maybe go on and win the whole thing, your Frances, your Germanys, your Brazils, Belgiums, Argentinas, you know, all those countries, for example, they're all thrown out, and we've kept, you know, the smaller nations like, for example, I don't know, say a Tunisia or a Panama or something like that. But Group A is Scotland, China, Peru, and Korea. Group B is the Czech Republic, Iceland, USA, and New Zealand. Group C, Norway, Australia, Tunisia, and Nigeria. Group D is Italy, Netherlands, Canada, and Chile. I'm interested to see what the group of death is going to be in this little reject World Cup, and so far I think D's got it. Group E is Ireland, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Wales. Group F is Romania, Turkey, Morocco, and Iran. Morocco and Iran still remaining in the same group. Group G is Greece, Panama, Sweden, and Japan. And Group H is Austria, Senegal, Costa Rica, and Northern Ireland. Okay then, if you don't mind me, I'm going to go through now and simulate all the group games, and I'll show you how the round of 16 looks, who's qualified, who's been eliminated. Just give me a minute. Here we go. Taking a look at Group A, and we see that Scotland finishes on top, so they make it out, and Peru have made it out. Even though they've got the same amount of points and the same goal difference as China, they've scored 5 goals. China can only muster 3, so that is what separates them. That and that alone. Incredible stuff. Peru and Scotland make it out of Group A. Going out of Group B is Iceland and the USA. Iceland finish on top, winning all of their games. USA finishing with 6 points. In Group C, we see Norway and Nigeria making it out. Australia again. Not even in the reject World Cup could get out the group stage. That's so annoying. At least we were able to pick up a win, but Norway goes up on top and Nigeria in second. Now in Group D, which I personally had labelled as the group of death, Italy, Chile, they're making it out. The Dutch, the Netherlands, only being able to pick up 3 points and 1 win for the entire tournament. So that's that then. They're out. They're going out with Canada. Group E is going to be Ireland topping the group and then Wales. So there you go. The UK teams, okay, pardon me, I'll probably upset a lot of Irish fans. My apologies. British teams, you know, that little part of the world, whatever, they're all going up. And the Middle Eastern teams, Saudi Arabia, or technically Egypt's African, but whatever, they're going out as well. In Group F, we see a bit of a surprise. Iran has finished on top of the group with 7 points. So they beat out Turkey, Romania, and Morocco to the top spot. Turkey are the other team that make it into the second or into the knockouts, finishing in second with 4 points. In Group G, we see Sweden going up in second and Greece winning all of their games. Panama is just finished with the 1 point. Japan in third with a win as well. And finally in Group H, Austria tops the group. Northern Ireland is able to pick up 3 points, and that is enough as well for them to go through up into second place. This now means that the knockout stage looks like this. Scotland will be playing USA. We have got Norway playing Chile. Ireland versus Turkey, Greece versus Northern Ireland, Iceland versus Peru, Italy versus Nigeria. That's probably one I'm going to keep my eye open for. Iran versus Wales, and then Austria versus Sweden. I'm not exactly sure what the toughest or biggest game of that round of 16 reject competition would be, but I'm probably going to give it to Italy versus Nigeria. But let's get this one underway. The first round of 16 game, Norway versus Chile. And Chile make it out. They knock out Norway. And it's a 2-1 win for them. Sanchez and Hernandez. They come back from being 1-0 down. Next up, Scotland versus USA. Now, this is another game I'm pretty interested in seeing the result of. And the USA continue. It looks like it's gone into extra time. Pulisic was able to score in the 92nd. But there you go. 3-2 win for the USA. They've knocked out Scotland. Next one coming up, Iceland versus Peru. Now, these are two teams that actually did qualify for the World Cup, but they are going to go through Iceland on penalties, 4-3. It looks like Iceland scored in extra time, and then Peru equalised again in the 105th minute, so that went all the way. 4-3 win for Iceland on penalties, and they, again, are pushing deep in another big tournament. And by big tournament, I mean, I've got to remember that this is the Reject World Cup. Let's calm it down. I'd have loved for there to just been a couple more extra teams in this World Cup mode, but not to be. Italy versus Nigeria. This is a big one, and it is a 3-1 win for Italy. Probably saw that one coming. I reckon Italy at this point is surely the favourites to go on and win the whole thing, the whole Reject World Cup. Ireland now versus Turkey, another pretty interesting matchup. Skipping ahead, 3-1 win for Turkey. Brady scores the only goal for Ireland. David Milo got injured and have to get substituted off. That sucks, but a 3-1 win for Turkey. Austria versus Sweden. This is a pretty big one too. Some good football players in both sides, and Sweden do make it through. Toivonen scored the goal in the 84th minute to get it done for them. Iran versus Wales. Who's going to make it out? Iran won all of their games in the group stage, scored early. Let's skip ahead. And they're still going. A 2-1 win. They've knocked out Wales in the 119th minute, if you don't mind as well. I actually think Turkey could be a shout as well, but I think this is the last round of 16 game. Greece versus Ireland, and Greece get it done. Northern Ireland, shall I say, but it's oh my god, how do I pronounce that name? Yaniotas. I should know that because I think I signed this guy in a career mode one day. Oh, I'm not normally too bad with Greek names, so I'm disappointed I had to compose myself. But a 2-0 win for Greece, and they make it through as well. But now let's take a look at how the quarterfinals are shaping up then. USA versus Chile, Turkey versus Greece. We've got Iceland versus Italy, another pretty interesting one there, and Iran versus Sweden. Iran going on a deep run, going way further than I expect them to, even though they are a nation that actually qualified for the World Cup. I still think there are so many other better teams in there, but eventually they're still going up against another team that made it to the World Cup in Sweden. But yeah, we'll see how far they keep going. At this stage, there are 5 countries that didn't qualify for the World Cup still in it, and 3 countries that had qualified for the World Cup that are remaining as well. Those countries obviously being Iceland, Iran, and Sweden. And we are at least going to have one more country that qualified for the World Cup to the semis, either Iran or Sweden. We'll see how it all ends up. Beginning with USA versus Chile, and it's going to be a 1-0 win for the USA. They knock out Chile. Huge goal from Wood in the 71st. They don't need to go to extra time to settle this one like so many games before in the round of 16. USA making it to the semis. Turkey versus Greece. Again, I think Turkey's maybe the favourite in this one. Greece could get it done, and they indeed do get it done. It's Mitroglou who scored in the 78th minute, forced extra time, and then they picked up another one in the 98th minute. So Turkey get knocked out. I thought they too were a bit of a shot of maybe going a little further, but not to be for them. They're gone. Now for 2 of the 3 bastions of actual qualified World Cup teams. One of them's going home, one of them's going through. Sweden is the one that makes it through. 42nd minute Forsberg, and Iran's very, very impressive, albeit reject World Cup campaign comes to an end. And the last quarterfinal, Iceland versus Italy. Are Italy able to go that little bit further, or are Iceland going to pull off another big shock upset? They do indeed! Italy's gone! Not even the reject World Cup, Italy. What is going on with the Azzurri? Sigurdsson and Finnbogason. Right, yeah, no, I think that's it. All right, sweet, cool. I don't have any issues with how I said that. 2-0 win for them. Oh my goodness me. So there you go then. We've got USA versus Greece and Sweden versus Iceland. Are Iceland going to make the final? Well, first we need to see who's making the final on the other side of things, USA or Greece. I'm going to let this one roll as well. Samaras scores first up, then an injury for Greece. So an action-packed first 15 minutes. I'm putting the controller down. We're letting this go. I don't care if it goes to extra time or penalties. We're letting it go. 45 minutes in now, still the 1 goal. Substitutions being made. Yellow cards. Mitroglou scores a second and then a third for Greece. They're surely going through now. There's got to be no time left for the Americans. They do snag one back through Dempsey. But that's going to be it then. A 3-1 win for Greece. Greece make it to the final of the Reject World Cup. I thought that the USA maybe could have gone the whole way on that side of things, and then maybe Italy would face them in the final. Nope, not to be. It's Greece that make it to the final. So now then, we'll do it again, but for Iceland versus Sweden. Who is making it through for a spot in the historic, coveted, inaugural Reject World Cup? Iceland versus Sweden. We're letting it go again. Forsberg is hitting the back of the net so many times right now for Sweden. He's doing brilliantly. Half an hour gone. Still 1-0. No subs, no fouls, no yellow cards, no nothing. It's a bit of a quiet game at the moment. Surely the substitutions are going to start flying in eventually. Now an hour into this one, nearly up to the 75-minute mark. Iceland running out of time. Can Sweden put the game to bed? Or is it just going to finish in a 1-0 win? Just a 1-0 win in the most uneventful game ever. No manager made a substitution in it. All right then, FIFA 18, cool. But Sweden make the final. There we have it then. Sweden making the final. They're going to be playing Greece. So Greece, who didn't qualify for the World Cup, versus Sweden, who only just managed to get in through a last qualification game against Italy. There we go then. Greece versus Sweden. Who is going to pick up the final? Who's going to pick up the win? First off, we'll have to see who finishes in third place. America or Iceland? We'll get this one out the way since no one really cares too much about it. But still, it's a 2-1 win. DeAndre Yedlin too. Yeah, I'll take that. A Newcastle man scoring the winning goal for their third spot. Yeah, that's cool. We'll take it. So the USA finish in third. Iceland in fourth. Now it's time for the big one.
The biggest day in world football, the Reject World Cup final. It only comes round once every 4 years. It's a brilliant setting, the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow, and we're lucky to be here.
Let's get this one underway then. Greece versus Sweden. Who's going to take it home? We simulate to find out. 15 minutes into this one. And Greece strike first through Mitroglou as well. There we go. Half an hour into it now. There's a yellow card that's gone Greece's way, but they lead. They score the first goal in the Reject World Cup final. I've just got to keep on throwing that in there. Yanni Otas scores in the 53rd minute as well. So it looks as though Greece are going to do it again. They won the Euros way back in the day. They've scored a penalty to seal the deal. It's done. It's dusted. The most saddest competition in world football to be a part of has been won by Greece for the first time. But that will do it again, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in another 4 years when we do the second ever Reject World Cup in FIFA. I can't wait for 4 years from now. I mean, do we even need to watch the World Cup now? I mean, seriously, we just got our premier tournament right here. Greece are your Reject World Cup champions. Congratulations to them. Surely the highest honor in world football, but that will do it for me. Until the next video, guys, and many more FIFA 18 World Cup mode videos coming very soon. My name is the MasterBucks. Don't forget to like and subscribe for them, coming once again, like I said, very soon. And until the next video, have a good one.